You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligence System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to SITREP Radio, where we give you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. You're listening to episode 112, and unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, you know that The Division 2 just got its major reveal at E3, and there's a lot to cover this week. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert and Luke. Hi, boys.
Hello.
Hello.
Just a very quick mention before we start the show today. We have banded together with our friends over at Bombshell Jackets and the Tom Clancy Locked On podcast, and we do have our own Discord called Beer and Bullets, where we, as a community, discuss The Division and other games. And we have a bit of a laugh and mess around with each other over there. So if you are looking to find some people to chat with, or you just want to discuss The Division, or whatever you kind of fancy doing, we'll leave a link in the show notes, and you guys can find us over there and find all the cool people that are over there as well. Thank you very much. So, Luke, Roberts, E3 happened this weekend.
Did it?
It did.
This weekend was a bit of a blur for me, so yeah, it's been after.
Well, they don't call you 10 o'clock Rob for nothing. Anyway, this weekend, obviously, The Division got revealed, not only with an awesome cinematic trailer for The Division 2 during the Ubisoft press conference, but they also kicked off the whole reveal whilst I was watching some random program on TV, and it was during the Microsoft conference that I don't think anybody was expecting it to drop out.
No, Twitter just blew up, didn't it? And everybody was like, Division 2!
What the hell is going on?
I watched the Xbox stream until Forza, one of the Forza games was released, and then I turned it off. Literally straight after that, it was the reveal, and I was like, "Oh God's sake,
rip."
Yeah, and it's been a pretty mental week since then, because obviously 6-minute preview of the game, and then we've just had the Ubisoft press conference, and then 2 days of streaming, like providing huge amounts of content and coverage and information for the past couple of days. There's so much information. I don't think we're going to be able to cover it all today, but we're definitely going to briefly discuss it and go over some of the basic points. But yeah, it's not only just that. They were showcasing a lot of the people, I don't know if you guys saw, a lot of the people behind the curtain that actually contribute to making The Division and The Division 2, to the point where I think they even had the guy that was making concrete for The Division 2 on the stream.
what?"
And he was it was really cool to see, like, all these people really excited about their jobs. But this dude was like, "I made that concrete," and he was so freaking happy about it and awesome.
You mean concrete in the game?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
He didn't have a cement mixer by the side of him or anything. Okay, so I just basically want to ask you guys what your first thoughts were when you saw the gameplay reveal. Luke, I'll go over to you first, man.
I think I reached for my wallet straight away. Was like, just let me pre-order it now. Just take my money, give me the game. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were like, I've done the beta already, and I don't even think I'd finished watching the trailer.
Correct.
Or the gameplay.
Correct. I even tried to sign up for it twice so that I could get it on PlayStation 4 and PC. It wouldn't let me, but I tried anyway.
Is it wrong I signed up for it twice on PC?
Why would you do that?
Doubles my chances of getting it.
I guess. But okay.
Anyway, Rob, what was your first thought when you actually saw, like, the whole thing?
Which bit? I mean, the first thing we saw on the Xbox trailer thing, that was amazing. I was like, yes, awesome. I was excited for, like, the stream the day after then. And then we saw that, and then they kept really revealing more information and more information. I was like, oh God, what are they doing? At some point over the last couple of days, I've just stopped looking at streams and stopped watching stuff because I don't want to learn anymore. I know we're going to read out in a minute, but I think maybe they've given away a little bit too much. Or maybe they've done it too quickly. Maybe they should have spread it out a little bit over the next 9 months. That's just my opinion.
But going back to like the actual gameplay, the demo, I mean, first reaction to that.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome. I thought my first reaction was it looked a bit slow, but then it's trying to portray, like, it's trying to sell stuff, isn't it? They're trying to give away like what they're trying to. I don't know. It just seemed the gameplay looked a bit slow, but then it was a cinematic sort of thing, wasn't it?
I was gonna say, like, we'll go into it in a minute, but obviously, this doesn't look to be a game that we can face tank in, at least not at the minute from what we've seen. And that would therefore like slow down the gameplay in theory, because you would have to use cover to move around.
No, but I mean, like, compared to, because we've seen people play the demo since then, and it's not that slow. They've literally slowed it down so you can take in all the information and see what's happening. It's like,
yeah, no, I totally get it. My thoughts, I guess, I was like, holy crap, this looks really good. It definitely still looks like The Division, but obviously you're starting out in a jungle aesthetic, which was really cool. I loved the throwback to the Christmas tree.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, with the Christmas tree to the Division 1, that was really cool. And then you see like the deer, and then you see like the huge open space to, you know, have a firefight in, and then, you know, you're seeing all this stuff kind of flying off, and it was really cool. And then
can I
don't think it sunk in for a couple of days.
Can I just ask you how many times you watched that? That little.
How many times did you watch that?
Not as many times as you. I'm pretty sure.
Minimum, probably 10 times I've seen that gameplay trailer. Yeah, but let's be fair, there's people out there who've watched it more than me. There's got to have been. Don't put me on the spot.
No, was it the Saturday morning after they'd revealed it? We were like, was it Saturday? No, the Monday morning.
Monday, yeah. And
we were sat in Discord, and I was just listening to you react to everything every time you figured something out new. It was. I wish I recorded it. Put it that way.
To be fair, dude, you were pretty excited as well.
Yeah,
you might have been hungover, but you were pretty excited.
It takes a lot to get me excited, as you know.
Don't say it like that. It just sounds weird.
It does. That's what was intended.
Were there any bits you guys picked up from the gameplay demo straight away? Stuff like quality of life improvements, and just like how different the game looked compared to the original?
It's going to sound stupid, but how different, but how similar it still looked. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, it still looks like The Division, but the second somebody went into their UI or in their menu, it was just like, whoa, they've changed everything. So that was impressive. And a lot more detail seemed to be around. Like, obviously, the pictures of the guns, pictures of the mods and the gear and all the other stuff that we've seen with it. Everything looked a lot more polished.
Yeah, it's a lot clearer. Especially like the user interface system it's so snappy. I mean, they're playing on PC with Xbox controllers, so I don't know how much difference that would make on like PlayStation 4 or Xbox, but the whole thing just seems a lot smoother, faster. You know, the way the guns are actually, you know, the guns look like they're snappier. I mean, I think the first thing I saw was like he's using an M4, but the M4 didn't sound like the M4 that we have in the Division game at the minute.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had the Seeker mine that was like pinging through the water and then shot up.
Yeah, when that came through the water, dude, that was beautiful. Like, whoever did that, well played, because that looked incredible.
Yeah, and then like obviously we saw the new skills.
Yeah.
Drones, boys. We actually have the drones finally. And we actually figured out there and then that they're not actually controlled remote. They're just out there.
Just a poppable skill, isn't it? And it will find a target for you.
You You can direct them to a target, can't you? By aiming down sights.
But yeah, I'm glad that is the case. I think the first thing Luke went fuck yes at in the inventory was the fact that he saw a DZ contaminated symbol.
Yeah, that did get me pretty hyped up, I have to admit. I was watching that trailer intently the first time, thinking, right, Dark Zone in a minute, Dark Zone in a minute, Dark Zone in a minute, aww. Then I watched it back and saw that contaminated symbol in the UI. I was just like, fuck yes, Dark Zone, bitches, let's go. And then that's literally all we know about it.
Dark Zone cache beneath it. Yeah.
They were locked off though, right? Do you reckon you have to earn the right to go into the Dark Zone, or is it just locked off because you're not in the Dark Zone? Maybe as soon as you go into the Dark Zone, those become available.
I'm thinking it's that second one, to be honest. Either that or it was just because it's what potentially wasn't even in the demo build that they took.
The build, yeah.
Okay. Well, just very quickly, how would you guys feel if they just completely locked off the dark? Whatever happens with the Dark Zone until Endgame, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think that would be a clever thing to do.
I think it gets everybody through the main game, and then they've got something to do at the end.
Because the Dark Zone is Endgame, so it would make sense to do that.
Yeah.
In Division 1, my first playthrough of Division 1, I didn't go in the Dark Zone until Endgame anyway, so that would make no difference to me personally. But
rip me. Rob, what did you think of, you're what would you say, face tanker? What do you think of people using cover in this game, dude?
Yeah.
Do you like the fact that they actually have to use cover
now? No, I think it's going to work well. I think it's still going to be enjoyable. It seems like there's going to be a lot more tactics involved. Like I briefly saw a stream where you can they were talking about chaining weak points and destroying stuff like that, and there being a little bit of tactic involved to actually achieve certain things and being accurate and stuff.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because I know you've been playing quite a bit of Siege and you have to be tactical in that. I know it's not necessarily the same, but it's a Tom Clancy game. It's meant to be a cover-based shooter, and we finally have, by the looks of it, the direction that's going back to. They're going back to the roots. But then going from that, the enemies were dying really quick, weren't they?
Yeah. And another thing we noticed when we were dissecting that little trailer we were given is there is some form of suppression fire, isn't there? Like the screen shakes.
Yeah. I was so
if you're out of cover.
About that. Yeah. Yeah, that was I saw that. I was like, no fucking way. The screen is actually shaking because he's in cover and he's under fire. And just I take it it's going to throw off your aim a little bit when you pop out and try and fire back. That's really cool. I mean, that, everyone's I saw a load of people complaining about, this person can't aim or whatever whilst playing the demo. It probably plays completely different to what people are used to. But also, it could be that. It could be the fact that suppression is playing into it as well, and it's throwing off your aim slightly. So you might have to keep reacting to it a little bit.
It'd be interesting how that gets worked into PvP.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how PvP turns out. We'll just say now, before we go any further, PvP wasn't mentioned at all. Neither was the Dark Zone, but the Dark Zone has been confirmed to make an appearance in some shape or form. But yeah, obviously, there's things like Downstate. Looks like they're pulling some stuff from Siege, which is really cool. Just the graphics in general, it looks like the Division, but with it kind of had a Wildlands feel to it. I don't know if you felt that, Rob.
Yeah, definitely.
But I like the fact that it's kind of in this place of you've got the jungle side, but then you've got this huge open area, but then it goes down to the narrow streets. That's that. You can see why they've chosen the location they have. And, Luke, why don't you tell listeners where the location is?
Washington, D.C.
For the sequel.
We're going to the White House, boys.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope.
We hope. It looks to be on the map. Not that I was overlaying any maps.
Did you watch the video that Marco put out about the map? And how
no,
big
I
it
didn't.
is.
That's the only one of Marco's
It's-
videos I've not watched, actually.
It is a lot bigger than the original map that we had for the Division.
Good.
A whole, 30%. I want to say 30%. I can't remember exactly what it says. But it's definitely bigger. But it's a different, sort of layout. What he took from the images, that it's obviously, east to west rather than south to north like we had.
Mm. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that map changes over time.
Yeah.
With support, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But let's just go over a bit of the news after the conference that was brought up obviously in some of the streams, but come across in that gameplay as well. There's going to be a lot, so I'm sure we'll have missed something. But yeah, location. The Division 2 is set 7 months after the outbreak that occurred in New York City. Are you boys sad to see the back of New York City now?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know if we are seeing the back of New York City, do we? Yes, it's set in Washington, D.C., but the characters in the trailers and everything were already at level 30, weren't they? Which we don't know whether that's the last level or not, whatever. But, I personally would like the first mission to be in New York City that then takes you whatever you have to do to Washington. But I don't know whether we'll get that or not, but that would be a great tie-in.
I know they have said, though, that it's not the same character from the Division 1.
Yeah.
So that definitely doesn't transfer over. Obviously, you get your shields, which transfer over, which we'll talk about very briefly at the end, depending on how much time we've got, because there's a lot to go over. But I agree. It would be cool if it started, and maybe, I don't know, you could have your agent dead on the floor, and you're just somebody walking away and being sent somewhere else, sort of thing. Because they're, I think the idea is the agent you start with is literally coming from somewhere else, starting fresh set of eyes on Washington, D.C. They haven't been a part of it, so they're there to tackle the threat that's now evolved.
Well, watching that map video that Marco did, he saw that there's I don't know what the island's called, but there's a little island off the east of.
Is it Roosevelt?
Yeah, possibly. But there's a bridge that's supposed to go from that to DC, and it's not there. So maybe that could be where you start, and then you helicopter in.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because
be a helicopter, right?
yeah, it's definitely going to yeah, that's the opening of the game. You get shot down. But
maybe it's a glider this time. Just glide in.
I was going to say, I watched the Game Over Greggy interview with Julian Garrity and Matthias. I can't remember. They're lead creative directors on the Division 2, I think.
Matthias is, yeah.
Yeah. So many people. I've watched so many streams. So I can't remember who's who. But yeah, that Roosevelt Island was brought up kind of this is going to be a big hint towards where we might actually go. It was kind of cool. What do you guys think about the fact that it's a 1-to-1 map location of Washington, D.C.?
I think it'd be good. I mean, obviously, we already mentioned the White House. I think there's a lot of iconic landmarks in Washington, in and around that sort of area, isn't there? So that would be good, because that was one thing that stood out a lot from NYC, wasn't it? Just the pure detail that they put into the map and the landmarks and everything that were there. Obviously, NYC is iconic as well. So
I think that's the one thing that you said. What was it? Episode 110. It was the one thing that you wanted was the same level of detail as the Division 1. And what are your thoughts on that so far, from what you've seen?
Well, from what you've seen, they look like they've continued in the same vein, if not even better, because the amount of detail that they'd put into the broken parts of Air Force One looked truly awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing we can't theorize, is how dense the map is going to be, because if you take into account how dense the West Side Piers are compared to the rest of New York on the original game, then if they took that and applied it to the whole map, then it may be 20% bigger in size, but then in density, it could be another
on a vertical axis almost.
Yeah. If we've got rooftops and a whole
like
subway
floors
network,
in almost every single building.
Man,
that sounds awesome.
It could be insane the amount of locations there are.
Yeah, that I just can't
Mind
believe.
blown.
Just like that, because we've only seen like a snippet of the map at the end of the day, and that's not even really at a huge location. You know, you're gonna hopefully head towards was it the Capitol building? Washington DC Capitol building. Obviously the Washington Monument. Like we can have gunfights around these places. You know, hopefully anyway. I don't know. It's crazy. It's weird to see how much variety that you're having in Washington DC. How do you feel? Obviously, it was kind of spoiled. I don't know if you remember a couple of months back, it was rumored to be Washington DC. Does that make a difference to you boys, or you don't really care? Do you wish you'd like not known at all? Or
no, because it was only a rumor, wasn't it? So I was never taking it too seriously.
Pretty sure we guessed, didn't we?
Yeah,
it was one of our guesses.
But I mean, we did name most American cities, didn't we?
Yeah. Vancouver. Oh wait,
Boston, Las Vegas.
Yeah,
I still think Vegas would have been cool as well. But
yeah, but I guess Tom Clancy's already been there twice.
Yeah, good point.
Could be a sequel. Before we kind of leave like that bit, Rob, I got to ask, what were your first thoughts on seeing that plane?
Oh yeah, it's the plane from Siege, but it's Air Force One, isn't it? So that is
slightly different.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the president at that
if
point?
If only they'd like put like, I don't know, like a barricade in there or something from Siege, it would have been awesome. Like some barbed wire. Just some barbed wire.
Cheeky little Easter egg.
On the floor. Yeah. That's cool. But yeah. So we have a new faction to coincide with a new game, I'm sure. Well, yeah.
I'm sure there'll be many more.
I was going to say, I'm sure we didn't think that we were going to get the same, reskinned enemies with ice, Rob. I know you were severely worried about that. So the new faction in the Division 2, one of several new factions, is the True Sons, and they're part of the JTF that were tasked with protecting the capital, and they were split off, and they basically went and did their own thing because they thought they could do it better or something along those lines. These guys seem quite brutal compared to like other NPCs we've seen before. Obviously, they're destructible. Like, did you see all the tank armor and stuff like that on the NPCs and the way they were reacting to us and things like that? It was really cool to see.
Yeah, they're a bit LMB-ish, aren't they? But completely different as well, as they're just the closest faction of what we know that you would compare them to, I think. But yeah, they did seem quite aggressive. I mean, I know they're trying to shoot at us, but still.
Yeah. I mean, you see that yellow bar enemy, and you can see them trying to pick off his like.
Mate, the way that his armor comes off.
Yeah, I was watching. It was like his arm, like part of his arms just come off, and like his shield bars just dropped, and I was like, it's cool that you don't have to just hit the weak point anymore. You can get other bits of, the armor, and it's all going to kind of fall to bits and cause damage.
That's such a clever way of making like a tanky boss. Like, that's so clever. Like, I would never have thought of that.
But then going back to what Luke said, that isn't even a boss, is it, Luke?
Oh, not that we know of. I mean, all of the quote unquote bosses in the Division are named, aren't they? They've got their own specific name, as in, hello, I'm the Bullet King, I'm a boss, it's going to take you 5 minutes and 6 magazines to kill me. The first quote-unquote boss you see in the sequel has not got a name, but he's got segmented armor that you can... He clearly had a weak point on the back that the crosshair on the weapon went yellow when he was hitting the hit points on that. And then as he turned around and you started hitting the armor, it was just parts of his armor that you were shooting at that fell off. Like Rob says, it's really clever, but it's fucking awesome as well, because knowing that you can do damage to his armor without having to hit the specific weak point to knock all his armor off all in one go, just shows that they've really thought about what they're doing this time and taking it, not even to the next level, but perhaps even the level beyond that already.
Yeah, because I think that was everyone's complaint. It's like, I keep shooting this guy and he's not dying. He's a bullet sponge. And I think that's the problem that the game has compared to other games where it's not an alien type NPC that you're trying to kill, So your brain's like, oh, well, he should be dead because he's human. I've put like a whole round
force
into
fields
him.
don't exist in this world, so...
Yeah, it's Tom Clancy's The Division. It's meant to be based in some sort of realism. I know, obviously.
No, I was just going to say, that same interview that we were talking about before with Mateus and Julian Garrity in it, Julian even made reference to that everything in the Division world is real or has that element of realism to it. And yet you're putting 3 magazines into an enemy's head and he's not dead. And they were like, yeah, we need to get rid of that straight away from the second one. And quite clearly they have done. So,
yeah. But then, like, you're seeing these NPCs and the way they're reacting to the player, they're moving out, they're swarming around you. They're not just staying in cover like they do kind of in the Division 1. I know they've updated the AI with legendaries and stuff like that, but it doesn't look like you're just going to get straight up rushed by a shotgunner in this. It's going to be a lot more varied. They're going to be aggressive, but they're going to react to you at the same time. So, plus, snipers can go prone and fire at you. These NPCs can go prone. What the hell?
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
That's gonna be cool, but I bet it's a pain in the ass. I'm waiting for you to start swearing. One of us to start swearing. Like, damn.
Did you see the going back to the boss really, really quickly? Did you see him one-shot melee one of the characters in the 6-minute video teaser thing that we got from Xbox as well?
Yes, I did.
So that's a bit legendary AI-ish, isn't it? Which is cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Drew who made the AI for that, because that AI is brutal in legendary modes missions that we've played. I know that because I've just been pistol butt smacked on the ground. So something we've talked about a lot on here, Endgame. And it was, to be honest, it was one of the first things that they've addressed this week. And they basically came out saying that Endgame has been like the center of building this game. It's their main focus, and they see it as the future, and they're going to support it. And obviously, with the community being so vocal at Endgame, like they've took that and they've gone, we're going to really push for it in the Division 2. And like, we've wanted that. We wanted more content at Endgame. We want to keep going. We want the progression to be there, and it looks like we're going to get it, boys. Rob, what do you think about that?
Basically, when we saw the Ubisoft announcements when Julian was on the show, that was basically his pitch, wasn't it? Endgame. And even on if you click on the Division on the EU Play app on the PC, even says Division 2 Endgame will keep you playing long after the credits roll. Like, that's their focus right now. Which is what everyone wants, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, from my point of view, I enjoyed the content that we had throughout the season pass. I enjoyed the content that we had in year 2, and there's content now that's keeping people, still playing the Division. Now they've announced the Division 2, people are going back, they're playing that content. But we all kind of have to admit that it could have been a little bit more frequent. It could have been a lot more story-based and things like that. And it looks like that is what we're going to get in the future. Luke, I know you love the story of the Division 1. How do you feel about new areas, new story being added, and new content just in general?
I'm going to lap it up, mate. I'm going to enjoy every single second of it. I think what I might do is take that week off work, because we'll talk about it later, but we know when the Division 2 is releasing. So I'm going to take that week off work. I'm going to turn my phone off, not talk to you for a few days, just fucking play the story and soak it all in. Because that's how I played the first one. I didn't know you two. I had a couple of real life friends who bought it and didn't really get into it anywhere near the way that I've got into it. They didn't even finish the story. They didn't get to level 30. They got bored of it way before then. I sucked it all in. I collected all the phones, all the drones, everything. I loved every second of the 1 to 30 and beyond. So, the more they're going to give us this time, the better.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing as well. Like, even with Division 1, we were like, we want the world to be alive. We want to keep going back to certain areas, like the side missions, have them come back. We had IFM saying, for open world, keeping it active and things like that, making us go out there. And it looks like they've had that feedback in general, and they're pushing for that in the sequel. Because, like, if you watch the gameplay demo, it's a control point. Now, a control point makes me think of a different game, and it might be nothing to do with that at all. But, well, obviously it's nothing to do with that anyway. But it's just, from what they've said, that the world's going to be more dynamic at endgame, and you're going to unlock more activities. And then they showed us the gameplay demo of the control point, and then I'm pretty sure I saw a playthrough where civilians, because civilians in this game are actually a huge part of it this time, I think they'd actually beat the agents to the control point and taken it over before they'd got there. If that makes sense. That's how dynamic the world is this time around.
I definitely saw them helping. I don't know about the taking over bit, but yeah, I mean, maybe you've seen a different one to me.
I think that was the case. Maybe I completely forgot about
the new JTF, aren't they? They're there, but they're obviously...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well is, you can get rid of these NPCs just at this control point, and the enemies are going to fight back. They will come back, potentially at a later point, which is something that we've been banging on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an IFM.
Yeah.
That we talked about, like,
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But yeah,
much like there's like a system in GTA.
But if that's meant to be,
maybe
if that's meant to be endgame, right? And then I saw this from Terry Spear on Twitter, and he was like, "Dude, this is just a snippet of our dynamic open world activity." And it's kind of like, that's fucking cool, dude.
No, just don't let him say any more. Because I don't want any information. Because
spoilers.
Yeah. I want to play the game.
We should have said that at the start. Yeah.
Freaking out.
Right. Well, probably the first thing people have noticed when they saw the poster for the Division 2 or actual revealed gameplay was that agents were using...
crossbow.
The words of my good friend there, a fucking crossbow.
Another IFM from years ago. I did. I asked for a sidearm crossbow.
Can I?
Well, I think.
Can I just say real quickly there that I was the one that asked for the grenade launcher?
Well, I think you both need to send a nice thank you letter to the gunman.
No, I think they need to send us a check,
Mr. Frederick Thylander, and say thank you very much, sir, for my crossbow.
No.
And yes, there's obviously a 50 cal sniper rifle, which are. These are all unlocked after you reach level 30, when you get to endgame after the main campaign. Luke, do you want to give us some information on these?
Yeah, so as you said, there's specializations. So we know about 3 of them at the moment. They've kind of hinted that there are more, but there's nothing concrete anywhere, is there? So yeah, I'm with Rob. I think there'll definitely be more.
I was going to say, like, they're all offensive as well, aren't they? There's no defensive and there's no healers at the minute. So
yeah,
on one of Marco's videos that I watched today when I was doing my homework, there's a mod for shield damage. So we know there's going to be shields in the game, right? And I'm thinking that's probably going to be one of the specializations. I could be wrong, but
no, that would make sense.
Yeah,
because they've said the open world and the 1 to 30 is playable on your own or in teams of up to 4. So you would expect at least 4 specializations, I guess. There's other things that make you think there'll be even more specializations that we'll touch on later. But yeah, so the specializations, they're not classes. what they are is basically the 50 cal sniper rifle, the crossbow, the grenade launcher. They are now your special weapon or your super. So there are no special skills anymore. So there's no green, no yellow, no blue. They're gone. They're no longer in the game. You now get your special weapon that obviously you then need special ammo for. I know people from the Space Magic world would call it heavy ammo. Is that right, Rob?
Heavy ammo, yeah.
Yes. Look at me. I know shit about Destiny. I believe you can interchange between them. So if you choose to be the sniper specialization, which the name of which I've completely and utterly forgotten, you can then swap and be the demolitionist, which is the grenade launcher one. I don't know.
Sharpshooter,
that would make sense, yeah. I don't know how quickly you can interchange them. Obviously, a lot of this information will come out later.
Seconds.
Right, cool. So it literally is just swapping a loadout almost.
Like swapping an alt.
Awesome.
Or swapping like your Titan.
But they did say something about when you pick a specialization, it will alter the way your skills work.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I think like
each one
even though
it's skill tree.
Yeah, it's not like a dedicated subclass or like a class as such that you're stuck with. It's more like an interchangeable subclass. Is that safe to use?
They all have different set grenades. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I think they all have different skills as well, because there was a screenshot that somebody put up that said skill 2 was not available in the demo. So they're all going to have a second skill that nobody knows anything about yet.
But I was going to say like mods as well. Apparently you will get like special mods, which I think...
Gear mods. Because there was no gear mods in the demo.
Yeah, I think it might be linked to that, which will obviously influence your build for that character, and which will make it, depending how you want to run your demolitionist or something like that.
I believe all the information that we've been given, we're already speculating.
Now, can I just quickly add in that since the trailers and everything came out and people were theorizing on the specializations being the classes that you choose, like what you said, Mike, Highlander has put a tweet out that says these are definitely not replacing your builds or your gear sets or whatever you want to call them as you would know them. They are to work in sync with that, aren't they? So
yeah, they're coinciding with like the 6-piece gear set and your weapons that we all know.
I think the way you described it is they are literally the replacements of your ultimate skills. So you are now a specialization rather than you pop green or you pop blue or whatever. So you could use your 50 cal sniper to change how a battle would look, as opposed to popping your tac link.
But I was going to say, like, I think obviously if it happens in the future that we get more specializations, for example, if you get healer, you're not going to be getting, and we know that the progression is you pick a specialization and then you unlock more skills and mods and other stuff from that specialization. If you pick a healer, you won't be getting, in my head, I'm hoping this is the case, that you won't be getting like damage or offensive talents. You'll be getting healing talents.
As far as we know, there are no healing skills in the game.
If that happens, we don't know. But yeah, you're right. At the minute, there are no healing talents.
Skills and
skills.
Specializations are offensive. There's no defensive ones.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Marco spotted on one of the skills, the one that gives you the napalm gas.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, Rob.
It's healing nanites, wasn't it?
Yeah, repairing nanite bots or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's able to fire those, so there's a good chance that might be able to heal.
That's the chem launcher, isn't it?
See.
Yeah.
That looks cool as well.
But yeah.
Whereas I like to call it the cum launcher.
Brutal. Rob's in stitches. Well, with Endgame in mind, Robert.
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah, raids.
Raids.
If they don't make fucking the Pentagon a raid, then
riot.
I'm done.
You're done.
Stupid.
I know you're messing, dude. Yeah. Basically, not only are we getting raids, dude, but how many people are we getting a raid?
Not just one raid.
No, how many people we get
They said
in a raid?
raids, plural.
Yeah, plural.
Also,
Yeah, true.
Plural.
8 players.
8 players.
I've never done an 8-player raid.
You will have soon.
Can you tell all the boys and girls listening what one of your first comments was about the fact that it's now 8 players, please, Rob?
We need more friends.
So if you want to come find us and play with us in these 8-player raids, you can come find us over at Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that explains
raids.
the Discord plug at the beginning of the show. Good job, dude.
All right, Steve. Yeah, so these raids, something the community's been asking for a while, are going to be the most challenging content in the game for the people that want to do it. Like I said earlier, I've got a funny feeling Roosevelt Island might be chosen for this as well. Don't know why, but it was heavily hinted at during the interview with Game Over Greggy, and you never know. White House. I know Rob wants the Pentagon. What do you want, Luke?
Your mum.
Yeah, I want to raid your mum. No,
Brutal.
to be honest, you said the big.
Sorry. I felt like it was a good question.
You want 8 people to raid your mum.
Wow.
No,
Too far.
No comment. No come back
Too
to that.
far.
Right? Okay.
If you want to do that, like I said, it's fine. Fine by me.
The thing.
Don't need my permission slip.
Right, going back to serious talk. It's all right naming all these popular landmarks from Washington DC, but there's nothing left to play the 1 to 30 missions in. So, you know, Roosevelt Island or the White House or the Pentagon, one of those is almost bound to be a mission, isn't it? So
The Pentagon isn't on the map. It's off.
Is it not on the map? Is it just out?
It's just out the map. So that's
Map expansion done.
well,
Oh god damn it!
so map expansion you just mentioned there.
That's
then,
the
Mike,
first
yeah?
DLC. Okay,
Yeah.
we've
So-
already figured that out.
Yeah.
Rob, you like other games, don't you?
Yeah, I feel this is a trap.
Do you want to tell us what's happening in year 1 of the Division?
Oh yeah, this is a great dig at another game I like to play, beginning with D. The first year of DLC is free, everyone.
Woohoo!
So you'll buy a game for like this is unprecedented. You buy a game for like what 40 quid, what $60? Don't know how many that is in euros. Who cares? And then you get DLC for a year for free without having to buy a season pass or an annual pass or anything that in that shape or form. Yay.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Yay.
That
This
is fucking
does
cool.
scare me a little bit because where are they going to get the extra revenue from? Which means there's probably going to be microtransactions in the game. But if they're as long as they stay the same as they are in D1, then the Division 1, sorry, that is.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
corrected
I am
yourself
as
there
well.
because the amount of time I see that rage.
Then that's fine.
So every 3 months, DLC in the form of episodes will contain new stories, new missions, new areas, which means
And world
map
events.
expansions and world events and more features for you to play.
They did also say more story. I'll just put that out there
More.
for people like myself and the
I
captain.
did ask you earlier, but
Yeah.
And
Just-
more mums to raid.
Yeah. More mums to raid, more story. Awesome.
awesome. Yeah, that's fucking cool. I mean, I'm so glad that is the case because there's been so many people we know that like I haven't got the season pass. Like, I'm reluctant to buy it. I don't know why, but you know, people are who they are, and it's really cool they're not making a paywall for players to play their content. Clans, boys. Now we have a Discord. Do you think we should start a beer and bullets clan?
Fuck yeah, we should.
Definitely. And we shall
Yeah.
all be admin. Yeah.
Clan tag BAB.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Bab.
So
Oh.
yes, of course, clans have finally been added. Something that we've all been asking for since Division 1, and it's finally getting introduced. And we're guessing basically to bring the community together so they can help each other out, would you say, boys?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's a bit of a gap between maybe the casual players or the hardcore players or just people that play different content between PvE, PvP. So having clans in there will be really cool. I do wonder if they will tie any rewards to clans. I think they might.
Yeah.
Rob, I know you're a big part of clans. What do you feel?
If they borrow from the Destiny model, then yeah, they'll definitely do that. But I don't know.
I kind of hope they do.
Just having like even if you go into if there's a clan list in the menu system, so you can just like message someone, fancy doing a raid, fancy raiding Mike's mum, and they can respond back. Like it's just that alone is good, I think.
But that would be really cool. And also it shows up on your user inventory, and by the looks of it, if it stays the same, above your head, you have like a clan tag above your head by your username. That'd be pretty cool. Obviously vanity will be transferring over. Apparently if you have like exotic sets of gear, they'll link together, making you stand out from other players of the game between like the 1 to 30, and if you've gone through end game content as well. Also, if you've completed all your shields, which we'll talk about very quickly at the end, you will look badass by the sounds of it. Also, trophies, boys. Have you seen these trophies?
I like a trophy.
I know you like a trophy, but yeah, trophies are items or objects that will hang off your backpack, I believe.
Oh, like off of Siege, right? Where you put on your guns and stuff.
Yeah. Like the Siege charms.
Yes, the charms.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you want a sweet teddy bear. Robert, do you want to tell listeners when The Division 2 is releasing?
On Friday the 15th of March, 2019. Do you know what I would have liked? A beta date? They kept skirting around that, but they never gave us a date. But
there's 9 months to go, dude.
Boo.
Including today and the actual day of release, it's 275 days.
That's depressing.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's so long.
How many weekends is that? How many times am I going to get drunk before Division 2 comes out?
A lot. A fucking lot.
Wow. Yeah.
35.
Well, I'm happy with that. You know, if they just said September, I'd have been a little bit worried that it was too soon. I think we'll see a beat of maybe the end of the year. Potentially more like next year, maybe January, February time. I think we probably see it. Because they did the same before. I think it was like January, February time that they released a beta for Division 1. Okay, so obviously all that out of the way, there's some big changes to how gear works in the Division 2, which we'll very briefly skirt over. Now, all of this isn't final. The game's still in development. Plus, I've probably missed something whilst taking
notes. I just realized something quite crazy.
What's that?
We will hit episode 150
around
that week of release.
And I've got holiday in March that isn't booked in yet.
I'm going to be violently ill.
You have the shits again.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times you can use that excuse.
As many times as I want, dude.
Okay, so obviously we know about the new signature weapons slot in the user interface. Grenade wheel is gone, boys. It's unlocked via the signature. Not signature. Specialization progression now. There's no more grenade wheel, boys.
Cool. You actually only get one grenade.
Yeah, obviously.
One type of grenade.
Well, apart from frag, you get frag and a specific type.
And your mum. But that's not the point. Damage drop-off graph. Pretty cool. Anyway, that's not gear. Okay, so the best in slot situation in the Division 1, let's be honest, boys, wasn't the best, was it? This is going to be controversial. I'm looking forward to this. So they are changing weapons. So you will unlock mods. You do not loot them anymore. And it doesn't have to. And once you've unlocked like a weapon mod, it can be unlocked and it's used on all your inventory of weapons.
Yeah, you unlock all the mods during the 1 to 30, right?
I'm guessing so.
They
all have...
Huh? I was just going to say what you're going to say, so just keep going.
Okay. They all have pros and cons. For example, a sight would give you plus 30% headshot damage, but will cost you 10% reload speed.
That's not what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
They all have set values.
Yeah, they have set values, but that's why I'm just giving an example. Like, you will have pros and cons on every single mod, including extended mags. You won't be firing shitloads of bullets. Yeah, it's going to change the way the game's played at the end of the day. Luke, how do you feel about this? Because I know you're not a huge fan of this.
I'm a fan of the fact that once you've unlocked, for argument's sake, an extended magazine, you can put that extended magazine on each and every one of the weapons that it fits to. So I don't need 16 magazines to put on 16 weapons. Once I've got an extended mag, that's it. All my guns can have it. The only thing that I was worried about when we didn't figure this out, when we saw the videos and everything for this yesterday, was that it does seem to reduce the grind somewhat. But having thought about it for like 24 hours, it's probably not as big a deal as I thought it was last night when I was thinking about it, because you can concentrate now on enjoying the game more rather than having to find gear mods, weapon mods, the best in slot of those two, then the gear, then the weapons to go with it, and then play the content once you've done that. So, yeah.
I agree, but it's also like, if they're going to have all this endgame content, do you really want to spend all this time like mucking around with mods, or do you want to be mucking around with your gear and your weapons instead? Do you know what I mean? That's more important.
Moving on a little bit, but you don't know how many brands they're going to be.
No, we don't. I think we know there's at least 6 confirmed. I don't know what the names of them are. I think it's like Petrovsky.
They've got some very strange names, haven't they, this time around?
We don't
Is it
need to go into
Providence, one of them?
But like
Providence?
They stack like no matter what the level. So if you've got a purple with the same brand as a high end,
yep,
it will unlock the 2 perks, which is interesting.
They come with that. Yeah. So talents on gear, you actually have talents on gear now, which do we think that's kind of like replacing stats, like minor stat kind of attributes? I know you already get like some stats on that anyway, but it's like an additional thing, isn't it?
There's only one talent on guns as well, even high ends.
That we know of.
That we know about.
I'm pretty sure Marco Style confirmed that you get 3 talents.
No, 1.
Is it not?
No, 1.
Is it still 1?
Someone picked up a gold shotgun and it's only got 1 talent on it.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Again, that we know of at level 30. Some of the gear they were picking up was level 29. But yeah, that is how it seems to be on the information we've got over the last week or so. But the brands are like they're not gear sets, but they're the closest thing to gear sets that we've seen in the game thus far, aren't they? So
it's like Ninja Bag, isn't it? Without the Ninja Bag,
yeah.
Like there's 3 on each.
Boris was saying that a lot in Discord chat that we were in the last couple of nights. To be fair to him,
so you can do 2 and 2,
yep,
2, 2, 2, or 3 and 3, or
yep,
2, 2.
But they're not.
Wait,
they don't seem to be massively overpowered stats that you unlock either. So, like, if you got 1 piece of SITREP gear, you got 10% extra crit chance, and then if you ran a second piece of SITREP gear, you would get maybe 10% reload speed additional, or something like that. It wasn't stupendously overpowered like the gear set pieces seem to be, especially towards the end of TD1.
Mike, so put your hand down.
And if you had 3 pieces, you get extra raid time, right?
Imagine I like the way that you're saying SITREP gear, as if there's a brand called SITREP.
I can't pronounce any of the brands that they've put in the game. That's the only reason I chose something I could say.
Just to give you guys a heads up, Marco Style has actually apologized on Twitter, and he did say that, what was it? He missed part of the live stream where the developers confirmed that high-end weapons will have 3 talents in the final game, just like the Division 1. So,
oh,
nice. Okay.
Well,
Forget everything we've just said for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. All the regular weapons from the Division 1 have been brought over, but obviously, as we discussed earlier, weapon handling has been completely reworked. It looks and sounds better than before. How do you guys feel about, obviously, for those that don't already know, the 3 main stats being basically wiped now? Your firearms, stamina, electronics. There's no DPS value as such anymore, is there?
Yeah, no. This is one thing that worries me a little bit, and it was also something I saw on Marco's video, that there's no extremes anymore. So it could be good. It could be in balance to the Force, or it could be mundane, boring gameplay because everyone's just using. I don't know. It might really work well in PvP, because everyone's going to be running roughly the same stats, so it's going to be down to skill.
Yeah,
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I like the fact that DPS is gone to a point. I think we're still going to have a stat screen like we do in the Division 1.
Build diversity's fucked though, right?
Well, it isn't, because just think about all the diversity you're getting because they've done brands the way they've done it. So like what you said, you can run the 3 and the 2 and the 1, or you can run the 2 and the 2 and the 1 and the 1, and etc. etc.
Yeah, but if they're going to make mediocre changes, there's no point, and you just run whatever. And then if you're good at the game, then you're good at the game.
That's the whole point I think they're trying to make, is you don't have to run a best in slot anymore. You can run whatever you want and potentially still be effective as somebody else who's got maybe a similar build or a completely different build. They're kind of bridging that gap, and I think it's gonna, anyone that went rogue or played PvP in the Division 1, I think it's gonna kick their ass a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because where the skill was sometimes down to what gear you had, I think the bridge between that in the Division 2 is going to be kind of not non-existent, but a lot less than what we have at the minute.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is all speculation. We don't.
Yeah, it could change. Like we said, it could change. I think the one cool thing that I have seen, talents proccing on the side of the gun, is a cool change. Instead of keep looking to the side to see if your talents have procced or anything like that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people saying there was a striker buff and a pred buff, but it was actually the things proccing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that the actual game itself looks like you're going to be able to play at long range due to your armor kits, the way the health is acting in this game, and having to be tactical and pushing in cover and stuff like that. Armor kits are replacing med kits, boys. There's no more med kits anymore. How do you feel about that? The fact that you now, if you want to heal yourself and regain your armor, you have to hold a button down out of line of fire in cover. But what is it, 1 to 3 seconds?
Yeah, it looked quite close to 3 seconds from what I've seen on the gameplays. But I think that's a great change. The agents having armor and it being visible rather than just a percentage-based value that was hidden somewhere in the background of everybody else. I think that's a great change as well. I know Naked Cowboy, Deep Fried Dave, Marco Style, Wids, all these guys have been asking for that since ETF Alpha. So that's obviously something they must have listened to a long time ago, knew they couldn't put it in the first game, but put it in the second game, from the get-go. So, yeah, great idea, that one.
And the fact that the animation when you're changing the armor plate looks like you're changing your codpiece.
So you finally got your codpiece.
It does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
if
you're in cover, aren't you, when you're doing it?
down,
So,
you crouch down, so it's not like he's taking it out of his ass.
But also, like, you've got down state, and then
you can
stem the bleed
and you can wave.
Did you
Come help me?
Did you see the thing that Marco pointed out about the downstate as well? From when you pop back from downstate, you've got the in danger symbol or whatever. That's it, unsafe. Yeah. That lasts for 30 seconds, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, you basically now have you had a cooldown before, but it was basically you die and then you can revive twice, and then before you completely wipe and can't be revived from death. And now it's one and done unless you die. If you die in that,
that's also a PvP game changer, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I mean. It's gonna everything that they've done is a pure reaction, like to PvP by the looks of it, not just PvP.
But it's so subtle as well. Like unless you picked it through with the fine tooth comb, like it's amazing. Love it. They've done a really good job. Well done, guys.
Yeah, honestly, well done. From what we've seen, it's awesome. I mean, with regards to gear, loadouts, mods, weapons, it basically, obviously stat values as well. It basically looks like they've tried to refine the game and make it easier to understand, which they have actually said as well. There's less dead weight and we don't have to be mathematicians anymore. I know we have awesome people out there in our community that do that, but we don't need that as much. However, I think we'll probably still have a lot of that.
I hope so. I think it'd be a shame if they lose that altogether. But, it is a massive work in progress still, isn't it? What, 9 months away from release? They could change all manner of things before then. But yeah, it would be a shame to lose some of that where you try and figure out exactly how to build your build. But,
I'm hoping the beta is rather early so they can figure some stuff out.
Mm. Well, I'm guessing there will probably be an alpha as well. So, there's going to be testing going on. There will probably be getting outside people into an alpha. So,
True.
You know what our email is. I'm not joking. But yeah, I guess that all said, is there any concerns? You've seen 2 days worth of streaming. Obviously, Rob's a bit upset about getting spoiled. But like gameplay wise, is that or just in general, from what you've seen so far, is there anything you guys are worried about? I mean, apart from the mention of no DZ, but it's confirmed to be back.
Just the amount of information they've given us, how open they're being it scares me. It's not normal.
But it's good. It's good. I think it's good. I think from my point of view, having all that information out there now proves how much they've listened to the community and how much the game looks like it's changed. Maybe, I know you could, we dissected it, didn't we? And you maybe could tell just from that dissection.
I don't know. Maybe it's the community we're in. I just feel like as a podcaster, we're going to dissect the game rather than enjoy it. Does that make sense? This is because when we first played The Division,
it was from a different perspective.
We weren't podcasters. We didn't review things. We didn't look at it from a critical point of view. And I just feel like that might ruin it for us this time round. I really hope it doesn't. But I just... do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see your point of view, because it'd be like if we did a podcast on Game of Thrones or something like Star Wars, and you see all the Star Wars tidbits coming out, there could be a leak of X, Y, Z, and you have to say it because it's news. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you go to the cinema and then that film's basically ruined.
Just look at the way you two were talking to each other in Discord on Monday and how hyped you were. And I was doing a few jobs around the house and you were like, Luke, get in Discord now. We're dissecting the video. And when I finally got into chat, Rob told me that, he was sick of the sound of Mike jizzing because he was so excited over the prospects of what he saw in the video.
Too. We were both jizzing.
So, yeah, while
you just missed
while it potentially could be a bad thing that you're going to dissect the game and maybe not enjoy it as much as you could do, and I don't think that's correct. Just look how excited you get when you talk to each other about what you've seen. And all three of us have seen something completely different to somebody else, even in one 6-minute video. So,
yeah.
I think I agree. I'm still going to enjoy it. Agreed, but I just think I'm going to have a bit of a skewed view on it.
I understand what you're saying, but like then if you go back and watch the streams and you look how like excited these people are to finally come out and talk about what the hell they've been working on, and like to show how hard they've worked on it, the changes they've made. And I think that's the other thing as well. Like some people don't like what they've seen so far. There is like a minority that's like, oh, the chicken dance is gone. That's going to be dead. And I don't like the way healers work. And it's like, but it's not going to be the same game you had before. You have to stop thinking like that. It's going to be completely, different. You would expect a game to progress, move on, and you either go with it or I guess you fall off the train, It's down to you at the end of the day. But I agree, Rob, I understand like from a different perspective this time. It's going to be a bit weird.
We're in the fortunate position of knowing quite a few of the star players that are out in LA as well, aren't we? So seeing the excitement that they've had on Twitter, and we know a lot of them are not just brown nosing; they are being genuine. Like Foxy, the Bombshell Jackets guys, Born Diesel, Riley. These people wouldn't say something was brilliant if they didn't believe it. Yeah, Cal Streams, exactly.
Yeah,
and they've all said, like word for word, literally, they can't wait for everybody else to get their hands on the beta so that they can see just how good the game is, and they can't put into words how good it feels and how different it feels, and all the subtle little changes add up to one big difference. So, that's going to keep me excited, knowing that they believe in it so much already. So,
but I mean, like we said before, there's 9 months. This thing could change.
Yeah,
and if people aren't happy with it after the 9 months and after the launch. If there's anything we've learned from the last 2 years, is that
ETF,
they will stick
baby.
around and fix the game. Yeah, they will fix the game.
As long as they call one of the raids Mike's mum, then I'm happy, all right?
If Mike's mum gets in the game, I'm fine by that, I guess.
Should we go through the shows?
Yeah. I'm gonna leave that one to Luke, but yeah, I'm very impressed, boys. Very impressed by the gameplay we've seen. And okay, Luke, I'm gonna pass it over to you very quickly. There was obviously an update for 1.8.2 today, giving us some new content for the Division 1. Do you want to very quickly give the listeners a heads up?
Real quick then. So we got Madison Field Hospital and General Assembly as legendary missions, but the big thing that seemed to cause quite a few queues, certainly on PC, Rob?
Yeah, I was in a queue for 2,400 people earlier on a game that's half years old. What the fuck?
It's all about them shields, dude. All about them shields.
And then I got dealt with. I was livid.
So shield,
and it went up.
Yeah, it did.
What did?
The queue.
Oh, right, okay.
The queue for your mum.
So shields are quote unquote special commendations. You can find these in the dossier segment of your agent's UI. We got 4 shields dropped into the game today with update 1.8.2. Some of which are going to be retroactive. So if you've done things in the game already, you don't necessarily need to do them again. Our buddy Spider from Discord told us that only one of the 4 shields that dropped today are retroactive though. So I hope it kind of stays on that vein that there's still a lot that you need to do. The 4 that dropped today were Shepherd, Avenger, Deadeye, and Hazard. Shepherd is fully unlocking the base of operations. That's the retroactive one. Avenger is kill 10 named bosses in the open world, the DZ, and Westside Piers.
Those are separate, by the way. So you have to kill open world bosses 10, and then DZ bosses 10, and then Westside Pier 10.
Absolutely correct. Deadeye is complete all weekly HVTs for 1 week, and Hazard is clearing 25 Dark Zone landmarks. Now, the first thing to say about these is once a shield is open, it stays open. There's no time limit on these. So if you really want to, just clear 4 DZ landmarks a month until February, and you'll get that ticked off. There will be 12 shields in total, 1 a month from July up until and including February of next year before the new game releases. When you complete a shield, you will get a new commendation patch for your agent. You will get a brand new audio log per shield that you unlock. and you get a shield cache per shield that you unlock. Do you guys want to know what's in a shield cache?
I already know.
Go for it.
You already know. Smart ass.
Yeah, I already got mine earlier.
So you get how many exotics?
1,
How many classified pieces?
2,
How many Phoenix credits?
2,000.
Do you get any div
I was gonna
tech?
say 3.
500 div tech.
And what about cipher keys?
Oh, I don't care about them.
You get 3 of those.
I got a big owl with shit row on it.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah.
And then the most important bit, I think, is that obviously these shields will give you rewards for Division 2. The rewards are split into 4 tiers. The first tier is rewarded just for completing 1 shield. Tier 2 is for completing 4 shields. Tier 3 is for 8 shields. And Tier 4 is for 12 shields in total, which is obviously all of them. Tier 1 will get you the Division 2 weapon skin. As well as that, for Tier 2, you get a unique outfit and a unique vanity patch. As well as that, in Tier 3, you get a brand new item, which is a backpack dye, which I guess is something like a backpack skin, but Petter and the team didn't really go into much detail on that. And then, last but not least, Tier 4 is one of the backpack trophies that Mike mentioned earlier, which, at the moment are teddy bears, a USA bandana flag type thing, and a baseball. I think they're the 3 we've only seen so far. I love the idea of these. I really do.
No, it's really cool that they've done that. And it keeps, they're not going to be all easy, I don't think. They're going to keep people kind of, chasing after them all the way up to March next year. So that's kind of cool. I just want to give Rob, I want to give Luke a very quick applause because well done, dude. That was a lot to read through.
Thanks.
I thought Rob was going to say something.
This is like, fuck off. You could read. Well done.
Robert, do you want to take the first question?
No.
Well, bad luck. Quick.
Who's he yesterday? Or is
that's just ignore that.
Excited for everything seen so far. See, I read. I'm getting laughed at. Excited for everything seen so far, except for the class specking. If leveling out means building to one of the 3 classes, is that too big a hurdle for build diversity to overcome?
Well, now we know that gear sets, gear in the division and specialization class specking are completely different. And the fact that you can switch between them at any point I wouldn't say it's a huge problem anymore. No?
True.
Okay, next.
Next question. Go on, Rob.
What color horses will we get and how will we be able to gear them up in game? I want to say blue because it's my favorite color and that would be a weird looking horse.
And horseshoes.
No, I want like turrets with laser beams.
Wow, this just got weird.
And lasers on their heads so they can guide them.
Horses with freaking laser beams on their heads.
I was going to say, to be fair, I'm surprised you didn't say. I'm surprised you didn't say steering wheel.
Yeah, baby.
Chuck Cunningham.
Oh no, I missed the opportunity.
Excuse the long post, please, but with the limited skills that we've seen and under the assumption that healing will be limited to using medkits and the information provided with the weapon drop-off, do you think the medium to long-range weapons will be more sought after and turned to meta, making close-range weapons like shotguns and SMG a far less choice to run in most circumstances? I understand we have a small knowledge of what skills we have.
I hope he's right about shotguns. I'll say that straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Other than that, Chuck, I kind of hope you're right, where medium to long range fights are more common. I don't know if they'll be meta or not, because you'll still get people that want to be up close and personal. Depends how punishing they make being out of cover in PvP.
Keep it punishing.
But yeah, I want this your way more than it currently is, for sure.
Well, the way it is in the game that we've seen. I want it to stay that way, out of cover and get.
Yeah, sorry, I meant
freaking
the first one.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. There's a few different things in there.
True.
Rob, any thoughts?
I'm hoping that they're all viable. I'm hoping that it will depend on the circumstances and the map and that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that they'll all be... Sorry, I keep talking.
And the vector? Vector?
I'm going to keep talking.
It's fine, dude. You got to make the video tomorrow so we can keep going.
For fuck's sake. It won't be tomorrow, I'll tell you that. I think the amount of detail they've put into the game so far, they've definitely thought about balance and viability. I think they may have gone towards the range side, but I reckon in some certain situations you're going to want a shotgun. Sorry, Luke.
Damn it.
Rob, I'm going to let you take the next one.
Why am I reading all the questions? What platforms will SITREP agents be most active upon on launch? Me, myself, I'm going to be on PC. I'm not going to bother buying it on any other thing.
Switch?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to buy it on Switch because I own a Switch. And it's
you can steal the Switch.
Right?
No, it's not. I will be buying it on PC. For sure.
Luke?
That's probably it.
I'm going to try...
Do all three platforms.
We're going to buy an Xbox, dude.
Try and split my time equally between PC and PlayStation 4. I wholeheartedly expect to fail at that, but I know I'm definitely getting it on both platforms.
Which one are you getting the special edition on?
Both? Dude, you're getting free content for a year. I'm going to get a special edition on both. Fuck that.
That's a good point.
Good point. Chuck says, also, who else was impressed with the electronic cello girl during the Ubisoft press conference?
Chuck, you dirty dog, you.
Gustabel says, okay, thoughts on no med kits or healing from what we've seen so far. It's armor replacement, and also your thoughts on weapon mods being unlocked as you play, and then you have to have them, so no RNG. Pretty sure we answered that during today's podcast. True. Thank you very much for your question there, dude. It's Archon. He says, or they say, may have missed the boat for this week, but in any case, in regards to raids being announced, what mechanics, encounters, bosses have you seen outside of the division that you feel could work in number 2, and what limitations, if any, do you think the division has over the... If any, do you think the division has over the typical MMO style raids? He also says he's a new listener, by the way, and has enjoyed going back over some of the older episodes. Keep up.
Don't do it.
Thank you very much.
Listen to episode 1. Treat yourself.
No, don't.
Treat yourself.
For mechanics, I think they may build on the whole, you know how the tank armor guy, I think they might build up on that. That would be
health bar for each arm.
That would be my guess. That's one of the mechanics that's going to appear in a raid. Like there's going to be a tank, maybe not a tank, but like something that's going to need armor chipping away, and it's going to take
APC?
time. Not on APC, no. We've done that. But I think that sort of mechanic, and then obviously carrying fuse boxes around, because everyone loves doing that.
What about Crota? Because to be fair, I did say bosses you've seen outside of the division could work in number 2.
Yeah, we're going to get swords, like magical swords that can only kill a certain thing. I don't know. I kind of don't want to know. Fucking let's figure it out. Let's do it blind.
He also asks, what's going to happen to Rick Velassi?
It's a good question.
He gets eaten by a load of rats that have got green poison. I have no idea.
Next question comes from Gio, and
you don't want to answer that like it.
Division 2 looks so dope. Question for you guys: after seeing the gameplay, what are you guys most excited for? I liked the gun menu a lot.
Raiding Mike's mum.
I concur.
You have to wait till Division 2 for that, dude.
Yeah, but it makes it more special if you wait, right?
Keep telling yourself that, dude. You're just missing out.
No, seriously. Just playing a new game that I want to play.
That you know everything about.
That I'm already going to know everything about by the time it comes out. God's sake.
No, you'll be fine. Stop bitching. I just want kind of new Division. I want to kind of get
more Division, dude.
Yeah. I just kind of want to get back on, the Division train sort of thing.
I know what you want. You're excited for the fact that we can't go to bed until it's tomorrow again.
Yes.
No, sweet 3 a.m. bedtimes.
Well, if it's anything like the weekend just gone, we'll just go, fuck it, let's stay up, right?
Well, some of us will.
Yeah. Some of us will. That's for another time. Tomahawkton says, SITREP Radio, what do people think of the new brand sets and mods? Plus, do you think people will miss the old skill power talents in favor of the new skill weapons? Also, now we must use more cover to cover combat. And what does that mean for the solo player as a 4-man team? Rob, you play as a solo player quite a bit. What do you reckon, dude?
You calling me a loner?
No, I'm just saying you sometimes prefer.
No, I agree. I think the adding to clans, of clans, is going to be helpful. I'm sure there's going to be matchmaking, everything like they always have done in the Division. So yeah, the cover thing though. Still not sure on that, and I generally think that we're going to get more specializations that are going to include some of the old skills that we love and know.
But I hope they don't bring like the OP shit back.
Yeah,
really want what I mean? Smart cover back.
You might need it now.
True.
You might actually need it.
True.
Luke?
I think we've talked enough about brands and mods and stuff, but yeah, the cover to cover, from day one, they've tried to market this game as a cover shooter, haven't they? So it would be nice for this game to actually have that as a thing. And obviously, from what we've seen already, that is going to be a lot more prevalent. So I only think that's a good thing, to be honest.
What about skill power, talents, and weapons? What do you reckon?
Again, it depends how they do it. Now they've confirmed that high-end weapons are going to have 3 talents on them. There's a world of brand new talents out there that we'd not thought of and not seen before. So, yeah, I'm going to stay clear of that as a definitive answer until later, I think.
What about exotics and gear sets? Like, do you reckon we're going to see them?
Let's get the game first, please.
Did you see the little bit of Thylander's appearance on stream yesterday where he didn't confirm but definitely didn't deny the existence of exotics in Division 2?
Oh. What a beautiful man he is.
Yannick read a question out from chat that said, are exotic weapons going to be in Division 2? And Thylander paused, thought very carefully about what he was going to say and says, well, why wouldn't they be in the Division 2? And then just smiled.
The house is back, baby.
Man's a genius.
He is. Right, I guess that's it. I think we've talked enough about the Division this week. Let's go play some Division. Robert, where can the listeners find us?
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Send us any questions or feedback over to us on our email address, which is sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com, or via the socials. Also, we post full episodes and other content from us every week over on YouTube. So head over to youtube.com/sitrep-radio. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and all that jazz over there, please. Mike, you put your hand up. What? What do you want?
On time every week, right?
No. I literally posted last week's episode today.
To be fair, you had a pretty heavy weekend.
Son of a bitch. I apologize.
To be fair, you've been recovering all week, so fair play, dude.
Luke?
As always, you can find this podcast over at iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Podbean, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud. You can find links to all of these platforms and more over at mashthosebuttons.com. And whilst you're there, please rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you!
If you do head over to mashthosebuttons.com, then make sure you check out the other podcasts on Mash Those Buttons Network. We do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested, drop by over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio Rob and SITREP Radio to check out both our streams. And thank you to the Division Elites on Facebook, which I am actually a admin of now. If you're an Xbox player, go check out the Division HQ on Twitter and Discord. They've got a good group over there. Thanks to them for allowing us to post our content over there. I think that's it, boys. Thank you very much for listening to this episode, agents, and we will catch you next week. Hope you have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secure.